A number 4 album of 2020 is Sufjan Stevens' The Ascension. Kind of like Tears for Fears, electronica, but with that sort of emotional folk drive. Each song kind of sounds like he dropped a hit of acid, wrote the first 3 minutes, and then the rest of the song was written after the acid kicked in. Some interesting, weird, good stuff. Yeah, check it out. Hello, welcome back to my channel. I am Shaggy, the opinionated hippie, currently ranking and reviewing every single Frank Zappa album released while he was alive, and we are currently on number 41, Tinseltown Rebellion. I'm a little surprised this is 41 out of somewhere in the 50s. I think 56 is where we stop. But this is a weird album. This is an album I've never quite found the groove for. It's essentially a live album. There's some studio parts, one studio track on here. But it's not a live album from a single tour. It's got a lot of stuff from the fall 1980 tour, which was Barrow and Kaliuta's last tour. Steve Vai had joined. And then it's got 3 tracks, 2 of which are the best things on here. From the 79 tour, which also had Barrow and Kaliuta, but was a kind of a different configuration. You still had Wolf was in the band, you had Wally and Cucurulo, just kind of an altogether different vibe than the fall 80 band. And there's a lot of spoken tracks where Frank is like talking to the audience, and then there's a couple tracks I just don't like, and I think rank up there with some of Frank's worst stuff. So this came out in 1981. Frank was always kind of putting together box sets or multi-disc LP collections. I think Leather is the most famous one. He had one called No Commercial Potential. He was working on a couple called Crush All Boxes and Warts and All in the late 70s, early 80s. This is apparently came out of those boxes. And then Frank just put this together instead of having this like multi-disc set. There's a whole backstory I'm sure you can get into. But the music itself, there's 3 or 4 tracks on here which are phenomenal. And then there's a bunch of stuff which is interesting, but I don't know if it was needed. And then there's a couple things I just don't like. So it was originally a double LP. It fits all on one CD, so essentially it's a one CD experience. I never heard it on the LP. I've only heard the CD experience, which was different when I heard it. Frank had made it so it segued all, as he does. Took out a couple applause breaks. I've since revisited and reheard those. I think it works better with the applause breaks than the sequence CD, but doesn't really make or break this album's position on this list. So anyways, it starts off with Fine Girl. This is the studio recording with Logoman. Logoman's only, as drummer, David Logoman is the drummer. His only appearance on a CD other than this, for like an official release, is You Are What You Is. Fine Girl sounds like it might be a You Are What You Is outtake, like it should have been on that album. It feels like it should be on that album. It's like a 3.5 minute little funk pop song about you're a fine girl. I'm sure it's pretty sexist, but it's a fun, okay song. The backing vocals, there's this high falsetto by Bob Harris, who does this wailing in the back. He does it on this and Love of My Life. That is phenomenal. That is why you need to check out this song. That is what makes it good. But other than that, it's kind of a throwaway number in my estimation. Next is Easy Meat. Great Easy Meat. This has a... there's the first part, which I think might be studio. I'm not sure. But you get the first part, and then you get some weird sync trap noises. Then you get some weird Baby Snake Shake Your Booty talking things. And then that goes into a guitar solo from Fall 80. Great guitar solo. Phenomenal guitar solo. Definitely one of the highlights of this album, for sure. And then you get a bunch of songs. You get For the Young Sophisticate, which is a neat little song. Kind of a short, I think it's like 2.5 minutes long. Yeah, 2.5 minutes long. It's a fun little song. You can also hear this on Leather. This a much better version of it appeared on Leather. but that hadn't been released yet. So this, I guess, is the first release of that song. And then live versions of "Love of My Life" and "I Ain't Got No Heart," which are both pretty good. I guess it was kind of neat to hear these after they had not been released, since Cruising with Reuben and the Jets in the Frank repertoire, but nothing incredible or nothing special, but still fun listens. Then you get Panty Rap. And that's way too long of a track, 4.5 minutes, in which Frank is encouraging members of the audience to throw their panties, describing past experience with panties while introducing the band. It goes on way too long. You don't need to listen to it more than once. It completely ruins the vibe of what Frank has going. I just don't like it. That goes into "Tell Me You Love Me," which is great. Steve Vai's on guitar, so it's a little bit heavier. Not as good as the 82 version that would appear on You Can't Do That on Stage Volume 1, but it's still kind of nice to hear this. But again, it's not that much different than the Chunga's Revenge version, and I don't know if it makes this album, can elevate this album higher than it is. You get a guitar solo. Now you see it, now you don't. It's a King Kong guitar solo from that 80 band. Another really good guitar solo. Easy Meat and Now You See It, Now You Don't are two of the highlights, if not they are the guitar solo highlights of this album. That and the Pick Me I'm Clean guitar solo. So the solos are strong. Frank's playing is good. And for this case, it's just the guitar solo. You don't get any King Kong in it. Then you get a dance contest. Yeah, you get a visual dance contest. You get Frank talking about it and recruiting people for it. But again, it's this live visual thing that Frank felt the need to include on an album, which completely ruins the vibe. Again, you had the good vibe, and then you have Panty Rap, and then you have Tell Me You Love Me and a really good guitar solo, and then you have this, another sort of just, how long is it? 3 minutes of him talking, which is just not necessary. To make it worse, that's followed by the Blue Light. So Frank did this thing in the early 80s where he sang, and he would kind of like do this little obnoxious kind of like condescending type style voice, and he would talk about people, and it was just this really weird thing, and the band would kind of improvise in the back, though they had a general direction that they were supposed to go in. The Blue Light is a lot of that with some pre-written parts. There goes my cat. The pre-written parts are good. Like the musical parts of these are good, especially towards the latter half of the song. But the spoken parts are just, and there's a lot of LA references, and there's a lot of just references to, I don't know. It's a social commentary piece, and it's just, I don't need to hear it more than once just to know it exists. It's not a song I like. That's followed by Tinseltown Rebellion, which is a fun song, but to me, it shows how Frank has taken his sort of musical composition style. Like, I always want to compare Tinseltown Rebellion to Florentine Pogan. Florentine Pogan is this song that has all these different, there's lyrics, and then the music goes off somewhere weird. A set of lyrics, music goes off somewhere weird, right? And where that music goes off is not very predictable. Tinseltown Rebellion, there's a set of lyrics, and then the music goes off exactly where you think it's going to go. Oh, you made a Jim Morrison reference? Let's play Light My Fire as we play. Oh, you made a punk reference? Let's do a little punk riff. It's kind of predictable, kind of theatrical, kind of played for laughs, and it's just not as satisfying as something as, say, Florentine Pogan. And so it's good, it's entertaining, but ultimately it makes this album fall to 41 because it's not, I don't know, it's just not as musically rewarding as earlier stuff. That's followed by Pick Me I'm Clean. Phenomenal song. Great song. Great guitar solo. There's also a version of this on Buffalo 80. Phenomenal. This is a great song. Worth getting this album to check this out. And that's the end of side 3. And then side 4, everything so far has been from the Fall 80 band, other than the opening Fine Girl. And now we have the final side 4, are 3 tracks from the 79 band. Bamboozled by Love, a song I completely dislike. This does have a nice Denny Wally slide solo in it, which kind of redeems it. And then the section in the middle with the guitars and stuff, it's pretty interesting. But the song is just, I do not like this song. It's a horrible song. Frank does not do blues very well, if you ask me. Suicide Chump, Bamboozled by Love, I could do without both those songs. personal taste there. And then two of the best tracks, a Brown Shoes Don't Make It, as played by the 79 Band, and Peaches 3. And I read somewhere a long time ago, I think it was a Warren Cucurullo interview, it's that Frank approached Warren and Art at one point before that tour and was like, hey, what songs are you guys interested in playing? And they picked Brown Shoes Don't Make It, according to Warren. So that's why that got in there. So thank you, Warren. And that song had not been played since, I think 70, maybe 69. I don't know. That song had not been played in the 70s. Let's just put it that way. And then the Peaches 3, which is the completely amazing, awesome rearrangement of Peaches with using Caliuta and Barrow and Mars, and just phenomenal, like a great, great version of that song. So it's not a bad album. I mean, we're number 41. It's still a pretty good album, and there are definite things in here that you need to hear if you're a Frank fan. The Easy Meat with the guitar solo. For the Young Sophisticate, it's a pretty fun song. The guitar solo, Now You See It, Now You Don't, worth checking out. Pick Me, I'm Clean, phenomenal. The Brown Shoes Don't Make It and the Peaches 3 are worth checking out. The rest of it, I don't think it's very essential at all. It's entertaining, it passes the time, but it's not great. So anyways, that's it. Tinseltown Rebellion. I know people like this. Let me know why I'm wrong. Let me know what you think. Let me know your thoughts about this album. But anyways, stay warm. It's cold here in Texas. And take care and see you around. Thank you. Bye.